excitement today. I'm a little too happy because that Desi Girl turned 2. Yay! Now, last week I put up an Instagram post asking all of you to ask questions, about, if you have any, about hair to me, and all the comments, the direct messages, the emails. It's been so amazing that it took us a little while to compile all the questions that we are going to answer here. Now, of course, we are trying to answer most of the questions addressed to us, but if in case I have missed any of you out there, please don't get mad at me and just leave me a comment down here and I'll get back to it right away. So the one question that I have seen most number of times is which oil, shampoo and conditioner do I use. So as far as oil is concerned, I use any oil really as long as it has a vegetable base. Now that's not to say that mineral oil is bad for your hair, because for the longest time, all through my school, all through my college, I used Bajaj Almond Drops hair oil, which was great, and it has 70% mineral oil. But now as I have grown older, the hair on the bottom, it gets drier, it gets exposed to pollution, and nourishment issues happen. I have moved out of my parents' house, obviously. Dietary changes and all the traveling, everything affects the hair health. So ultimately now I have figured out that vegetable oils are the ones that really do wonders for my hair. So for sesame oil or coconut oil, sunflower oil, Kama Ayurveda's Bringadi oil, I really like that one. Or there's a hair oil by Forest Essentials, that too. Any oil that has a vegetable base works well for me, and that is exactly what I use. For shampoo and conditioner, sadly again, I'm not very loyal to any brand out there, and I keep on trying new things, and I actually change my shampoo when I feel like it has stopped working for me, or due to seasonal changes, I like different fragrances. Like right now, I'm using again Kama Ayurveda's Himalayan Deodar cleanser and hair conditioner. Now this has a very nice foresty, fresh smell, which I really adore. It is SLS and SLES free. Now again, SLS and SLES are not really harmful for your hair. There are no reports that say that they do any damage to your hair unless you are allergic to them. So all this organic movement is great, and you should totally indulge in it if you want to, but would it make a really huge difference on your hair health? There's not enough data to really ascertain that. Why I like this is, it cleans my hair effectively, it has a great fragrance, and they deliver. So wherever I am traveling, wherever I am, I can just order off the website and I get it at my home. I hate getting used to a certain hair product and then being in a city where I just can't get it. Like for example, we are shooting this video right now in Ahmedabad, and choices of getting a L'Occitane here are very low. So that is exactly why I like taking any shampoos or conditioners that I can easily get, but at the same time they should work for my hair. And moving on to the other questions now, I'll take the Instagram comments first. Okay, so the first question is how to grow hair faster. Now that is a very difficult question. Your hair actually grows about half an inch every month from what I know, and some people's hair grows at a little higher rate, some people's at a little lower than that, but you cannot really influence it a lot. But one thing that is important to keep on your hair growing faster, though it does sound counterproductive, is getting regular trims. Now why that is important is that the hair which is loose and open at the end tends to get split ends at times, especially if your hair is dry and you're not conditioning it enough, or you're being exposed to sunlight a lot, or dry air. Even in winter the wind can damage it, in rains water damages it, and in summer the sunlight creates havoc. But the point is that if you keep on getting the split ends chopped off, then your hair keeps on getting healthy and growing, because split ends have a tendency of running up your hair shaft, and that breaks them, and that is something you want to avoid if you want to grow your hair longer. And apart from that, of course, eating well is absolutely important. You need a lot of protein. So if you're a vegetarian like me, you might need to look into your dals and other pulses for your protein sources. Also milk products, dairy products are really good for your hair. Eating avla also is a great source of vitamin C, and vitamin B12 deficiency is something that affects 8 out of every 10 Indians from a recent report. And vitamin B12 is something that is really required for good hair. So if you've been feeling sluggish, or if you feel like you have a lot of hair fall, you might want to go to a doctor and get that looked into. Now, that can easily be corrected with supplements, but you do need vitamin B12. Now, moving on to the next question, Unnati asked, how do you maintain your hair? So, Unnati, for maintaining my hair, I just oil it regularly. Before every hair wash, I would oil my hair. I would try to keep it clean. I'll try to keep it tangle free, and I always try to plait my hair, braid it into a loose braid before going to sleep, so that I don't snag it in different things. And that's about it, really. I don't really use a lot of heat on my hair. I just let them be like me. So I would not use a ton of hairsprays, or I would not style them. That's not to say I don't ever do it, but in my everyday life, no, I don't. And that's how I maintain my hair. Oh, next question is how much weight does it have? Is it heavy and painful? So I'm presuming it does have a lot of weight, and yes, when I tie it in a bun and I leave it like that, after a couple hours I need to open it and let it loose, because my head otherwise starts hurting. But if it is really heavy or not, I can't really tell, because I got used to my hair, little by little by little. So I'm sure that if I get them cut, I would suddenly feel like much lighter, but I cannot really comment on whether it is heavy or not. And about, is it heavy and painful? So it's not really painful unless I tie it very tightly, but I've got my own mechanism now, where every couple of hours when I'm seated down somewhere, I'll let my hair loose, I'll let them breathe, and then I'll tie them up again. So it works out well. So Arzu asked how to grow that long hair, and Arzu, I would just say that make sure that you are keeping it safe and oiling it regularly, conditioning it, giving it deep conditioning masks, and apart from that, eating well. There is nothing else that you can really do to grow hair longer. Now, every person cannot really grow that long hair, and it's a very complex genetic science behind it. But from your end, all you can do is make sure that you're not doing anything to hamper the growth. Rest, not really sure how would that work. Now, Aiza, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. What's the best hair product you have used? Now, that's honestly a very tough question, because I fall in love with a new hair product every season. So this season, as winter has just been over, I've been loving this Biblan's dry shampoo. I might have it right here, wait. Yeah, Back to Life dry shampoo. Now, why I loved it is that we've been taking these amazing trips, and I don't always get time to wash off my hair. And if I need a real quick pick-me-up, this dry shampoo works wonders. It's great for Indian hair. It does not leave a residue, and it's just light, very fragrant. And of course, I try to wash it off the very next day and wash my hair like normally. But for emergencies, this works great. Also, it gives a nice texture to the hair. So, for making those bigger hairstyles, this is perfect. So, I've been loving this off late. So, Lakshmi and Aishi asked, how often do you oil your hair? So, I oil my hair every time I'm going to wash my hair. So, I oil it actually on previous night, and my poor husband then runs out of the room. Legit, not kidding about it at all. So, oils do have a strong smell, and he can't really take them, but okay. I oil my hair like twice or thrice a week. In summers, it goes up to like 3-4 times a week, and in winters, it goes down to twice a week. But that's the bare minimum. So, Surbhi and Sakshi asked how to tackle hair fall. So, guys, hair fall is something that I've been hearing that everyone is facing nowadays, especially if you're living in a big city or even a B city. What is happening is that we are just so stressed, and we are going out, and the pollution levels are so high, especially if you're living in Delhi. I totally feel you, because Delhi has been really bad for me of late. But the point is that hair fall is a thing that is going to happen, but every hair that falls does not need to give you a heart attack. because every single day 100 strands, up to 100 strands falling is absolutely normal. I've checked it up with different dermatologists, and they say that unless you are just taking clumps out, you don't really need to worry. Over time your hair does thin, but that's not because it's thinning really. It's every hair has its own life cycle. There are 3 stages in which hair is in, and all the 3 are simultaneously going on your head. So like one hair strand could be in anagen, while another one could be in the 3rd stage, that is telogen. So anagen would be growing and telogen would be falling. But it might seem like if you feel like that you're losing more than 100 strands a day, you may want to get it checked at a dermatologist. Seriously, trust me on this. It's not worth the heartbreak. And especially men face a lot of hair fall in our nation, actually world over. So one great thing that a dermatologist told me is women don't typically go bald. Women pattern baldness of course happens, but typically they don't go bald, while men very quickly do. So if you're losing hair, you can have medical intervention, which is honestly the only way to tackle it. So just taking care of it, keeping hair clean, eating healthy, these are my mantras. And if you still feel that you're losing hair, don't lose sleep, just go to a doctor. Moving on to the next one is, how long will you let your hair grow? So I actually get it cut every few months till my knees, and that's about my limit, and that's just because that's where I like it. Currently, of course, it's a little longer. It's almost halfway till my mid-calf length, but I am not planning to grow it way beyond that. So Mahima asked, how do you keep your hair frizz-free? So I do get frizzy hair sometimes, Mahima, but honestly, mostly I just, gather all my hair and tie it in a bun. But if I have to go out somewhere, I have this really neat trick that a hairstylist once told me. I take a hairbrush and spray some hairspray on it, not on the hair, but on the hairbrush, and then just brush through my hair. And that usually tackles the frizz. Or otherwise, a good serum also goes a long way in keeping the frizz in check. If you're living in Mumbai and have all the humidity to add with all the heat, then yes, your hair would tend to get frizzier a lot more than in drier areas. But just try this hairbrush trick out. It does work wonders. So Namrata and Srishti asked, how long did it take to grow hair this long? So I would try to answer it as honestly as possible, but I'm not sure if I can be absolutely accurate. So I think it took me about a decade. I started growing my hair while still in school, and once a decade later it had grown to this length, and since then I've just been cutting it and maintaining it at this length. And Srishti also asked how many times a week you wash your hair. I think I've addressed it already. So in summers 3 to 4, in winters 2 to 3 times. Now Hessa and Surbhi asked what to do to make hair thicker. To make hair thicker, there can be a ton of things. Now, I really don't know what you mean by this right now. Like one thing could be increasing the strength and density of each individual strand of your hair, and one thing could be just growing more hair on your head. So for growing more hair on your head, I have this amazing secret, not a secret really since it's all over the internet. There's this lady in Delhi called Kamini Auntie. She runs a home salon out of Safdarjung Enclave, and she has these really good products which worked very well for me. So she gives you a hair oil and a ginger serum sort of thing, and a conditioner and shampoo to go with it. And after using her hair oil for 3 months, I noticed baby hair on my head, and those hair have been healthy, they've grown up. So that might be one thing that can increase your hair thickness. So she uses a sunflower seed oil, but she infuses herbs in that, and I really don't know which herbs does she use, but they do really work well. Ashwini asked, what nourishment do you give to hair oil, spa, especially to keep it thick and black? So Ashwini, honestly, I do have a few gray hairs on my head, and they've just started coming, but my gray hair come like weirdly. My hair turns a little gray, then grows out, and then it turns brown again. And I know that sounds really funny, but that's exactly how it is. I'm not very worried about it right now, but I've started having a lot of avla to keep it healthier for longer. Apart from that, yeah, I do oil my hair regularly. As far as spas go, I don't mind them because they're so relaxing and so amazingly good for hair. But at the same time, I don't regularly get it done because the effects only last for like 15 days. And since we are traveling so much all the time, it's not always possible for me to, keep on going back to the same spa. And I do not like experimenting a lot with different spas because I don't like, people being rough with my hair or um, breaking them while blow drying or breaking them while trying to detangle them quickly. So I tend to keep away from it. Also, at my length, a hair spa can be prohibitively expensive even in India. Tony asked, why did you decide to have hair this long? So it's actually very funny, Tony. I can't really answer that because I don't really remember. I just remember that as a 5 or a 6-year-old, I went up to my mom and I asked her if I could grow my hair long like my aunt. And she said that you could do it when you are in 6th standard, randomly. So 6th standard would be when I would turn 11-year-old. And that's when I started growing my hair, and that's it. Next is Shri Harsha asking, did you ever have short hair? So Shri Harsha, I actually had this short hair till 5th standard. And after that, of course, it took a little while to grow. But I never really went absolutely short again. But, till I turned 4, I had absolutely no hair on my head because as soon as I would get a little bit of hair, my mom would go and get me absolutely bald. And her reasons were that, the hair that comes out later comes out healthier. I don't really know if I believe in that, but I'm thankful to her for my head of hair. There goes. And next is Ayushi, who asked, how do you style your hair in normal days? Plait, bun, or let them loose? So Ayushi, actually all three. Usually I just keep my hair in a tight bun through the day. When I'm going to sleep, I braid them loosely. And, whenever when it gets heavier and my head starts hurting, I just let them loose. But usually my hairstyle is very, very fuss free. I have this simple little bun that I can do in a twist and a turn and a few more turns within a few minutes, and I just hold it up with a hair stick, which I can't show you, it's a little far off, but that's about it. And I do some more elaborate hairstyles for other functions, but usually it's just let them be, because that's the most important advice I can give to any of you guys. If you want good, long, healthy hair, any kind of hair, just hair, let them be, let them breathe. Do not expect them to behave always. Bad hair days happen, and so what? You can just tie them up or use a scarf or use a hat if it is really that bad. But do not try to put a ton of chemicals on your hair, or do not try to expect too much, and don't stress, because the more you stress, the more hair falls, so it's very counterproductive. And that brings me to my last question of the day, which came in through an email, and this was Brandon asking, my question is about hair salons. As a fashion blogger, I'm sure that you have encountered many hairdressers in your day. What are your general thoughts on hair salons, and do you have a best worst experience? So Brandon, yeah, I have met a lot of great hairdressers, especially of late when brands have been calling me to different events. But I do have a worst and a best experience. So starting with the worst first, as a school student, I once walked in a salon. One of my cousins was getting engaged and I wanted a nice little hairdo. And that time my hair didn't used to be this long, it was still my waist. And I enter and I sit down on the chair, and this guy comes up and he touches my hair and he says, ugh, rubbish. And I'm like, sorry, what? And he just didn't like my hair. He thought they were damaged, which they were, because I used to play basketball out in sun. I used to play kho-kho and kabaddi, and I used to swim regularly, and all of that did damage my hair, but I still loved them just like they were. And this guy was really rude, and he was like, if I was you, I would just chop off my hair because the quality is just so bad. It did inspire me to take better care of my hair, and no, I did not stop playing games. I just started making sure that my hair did not get damaged by, oiling more regularly, braiding it tightly, using a swim cap, things like that. The thing is that I think hairdressers, of course, it's their job. They know the best and they are the masters of hair. But I always think that whatever job we are doing, we should make sure that we're not hurting any other person, because the human touch is ultimately what is most important in everything. Because I've been to a ton of hairdressers now, and all of them have been really nice and courteous and polite, and they treat you well. Hair products can vary, but ultimately results are almost always the same, honestly. Once you have been given a good massage with oil, and your hair has been washed and treated and blow dried, it almost always ends up looking fantastic. But what remains with me is how I had been treated, and how I have felt while being in the chair for those few hours. And so the best experience that I've had is at Kamini Aunties, because it's like a little family out there, and all the ladies, they know you, and they would chit chat with you, ask about your work, and give you a nice massage, and not just head, then they would move on to your shoulders, and it's such a relaxing time. And also it's very private, so it feels great. That is always my best experience. So with that, I think we have come at the end of the questions. If I've missed your questions, again, please don't get mad. Leave a comment. I'll get back. And I have a surprise for you. We'll be doing a lot of regular videos from now on. So please make sure that you subscribe to us to stay connected. And if you like this video, do not forget to like it here. And waiting for your comments as always. Love you guys. Bye-bye.